Welcome everyone to this week's video. Today we are on Fish Friday number 58 and we have a good one for you today. Today's fish is not necessarily the prettiest fish in the world, but it is one of the most important for historical conservation efforts in the United States. Today we are going to be talking about the snail darter. So snail darter, or scientific name, Perkina tenaci, and that is Perkina tenaci. It is part of the family Percidae, which is a family of perches. We've talked numerous times about this. This is where your bass are. Percidae is a very large family. They're characterized by having, split two dorsal fins. Sometimes they're connected, so you can see these have two back fins. There's other characteristics, but it's a really large family. Now, the snail darter was originally thought to live strictly in the lower portion of the Little Tennessee River system. I want you to remember that little range tip right there. The original range was thought to be strictly the lower portion of the Tennessee. Where they are found in gravel shoals in medium depths of water. These are not like your other darters that are staying way up in the very shallow riffles with strong currents pulling over them. These prefer to be a little bit deeper, a little bit, slower moving water, really on those gravel bars. They need quite a bit of sand. In fact, it seems they might need more sand than gravel. But the important thing is that these gravel shoals have to be free of silt and aquatic plants. They do not live basically where there's any silt or aquatic plants. Not sand, silt. Silt is much finer, fills in the cracks on gravel. Sand really won't. In terms of how these things look, very obvious. There's not much to describe for them. They have these distinct dorsal saddles. They have this mark under the eye. They have this really blunt nose. Many darters have gorgeous coloration in breeding times. This one does not. It is basically these black dorsal saddles, then a lighter back, then kind of a stripe, and then a stripe under an eye, and boom, there's your coloration. They're not a very big fish. You can see here's one in someone's palm, with a paper clip, kind of for size. You can see the bars, the saddles on them, but there's really not a lot to go in the description of this fish. And most darters are really identified by where they are found. I'm not saying that there's not other characteristics, but I think that's about everything you need to know. Now, these things eat very small insects, more specifically gastropods. In fact, they really seem to focus on 5 millimeters or less gastropods. Meaning if it's over 5 millimeters, they're not going to eat it for the most part. But something interesting about them is that they are burrowers. They're a fish that's actually a burrower. That's why they can't just have straight gravel. They need a little bit of sand, but they burrow to escape the currents, because they really don't like to swim. And then they also burrow to escape predators. So predators like the banded sculpin, the sauger, these are fish that are very good predators of these. In fact, the banded sculpin is probably the #1 predator on these. So yeah, in terms of their issues, they have the standard problems like siltation, agricultural runoff, which are very detrimental to a lot of stream fishes. However, and this is the interesting fact, and I know it seems like we glossed over, there's not a lot of stuff on this fish, but we are going to be talking about the biggest controversy about this fish. This fish literally changed laws in the United States. That is because of the Tellico Dam. The Tellico Dam controversy. And one real important thing, one reason why this fish is very important is this was the first real test of the Endangered Species Act in the United States. The Endangered Species Act was an act that was put into action. A lot of people think that it's for species, but species are used as indicator, and it's actually primarily supposed to protect habitat. It protects critical habitat. So, but that's a common misconception. So, what happened? What was the Tellico Dam controversy? Well, the Tellico Dam was a dam that was going to be put onto a portion of the Little Tennessee River system. And dams take years to plan and build. Well, the scientists came in as the dam was, going on. I think it was like 50% though. Scientists came in and found a snail darter, and it was the very first snail darter ever found. This fish was actually discovered in 1973. The scientists stated this, and it was finally officially listed as endangered in 1975, by 1975. Remember, the dam was already planned. However, the scientists came out and said the dam is going to completely kill this population of fish. There's nowhere else in the world is this fish found. We need to protect it. But the projects, the people that were for the dam were saying, look, we've already spent millions and millions of dollars into this dam. And, to get rid of it now would be to lose expected power because it was a hydroelectric dam. We're going to lose this power supply. We're going to waste these millions of dollars to protect a fish, that doesn't really provide economic or commercial value. It doesn't have much of a value. It's just an endangered species. So it was a huge battle. The lawsuit, because both of them were suing each other, both groups, the environmentalists and the dam project, they were just suing each other. And it went all the way up to United States Congress and the Supreme Court. And they were very, very, it was very contentious, but they were very inconsistent regarding it. So the Senate Appropriations Committee stated that basically that it's not the project's fault that this thing was found after the projects were well underway, and then this thing came out and was endangered. So it should basically, the Senate Appropriations Committee said that they should be allowed, and then the U.S. Supreme Court actually, I think, they sided with the snail darter and said, look, the actual fact is that is the law. The law is projects cannot happen with an endangered species. And this is in 1978, so this is 3 years of just constant battles over it. And or in 1977, and then 1978, the Supreme Court ruled and said, look, the letter of the law is the snail darter is protected. Well, then two Tennessee politicians got involved, a senator and I think a representative. And what happened is they got involved, and they were going back. They were just so tired because they have all these constituents arguing about it. They want the dam or they don't want the dam, and so tired. And one of the legislatures was like, this is the bane of my existence. I am so tired. And this is going on all the way up to 1979. 1979. But one of the Tennessee legislatures actually introduced an amendment to the Endangered Species Act. Because of this fish, it changed the entire structure of the Endangered Species Act. In 1978, the Endangered Species Act was amended to have what is now known as the God Committee. That's in quotations. And what the God Committee can do is the God Committee can actually exempt a project from the endangered species. So if a project comes before and is put on hold by the Endangered Species Act, a God Committee is appointed, and that committee is supposed to look at the project, look at the endangered species, and do a cost-benefit analysis to determine if a project could be exempted from the Endangered Species Act. Well, the God Committee was formed by this Tennessee legislature, and then the God Committee actually ruled in favor of the snail darter, not the dam. Everyone thought it was going to go the other way. It was 180. Now, while this was going on, they were trying to take some darters and move them to a different river. And in 1975, there was finally a successful transplantation, and they got to a population of about 2,500 individuals. Meanwhile, the dam is continually being built, and in 1978, it was about 95% built. Then I don't know how exactly it happened, even though the Supreme Court went to a minute. You can look it up, and there are literal books written over this controversy, like large textbooks. Anyway, so the dam was completed in 1979. Now, the fun fact about this very long fun fact is that this was a complete and utter waste of everyone's time. Not because of the legislature and not because of the snail darter, because everyone screwed up basically at every single turn from the beginning. It came out that the dam was a very, very bad project to begin with. It was never going to be very cost efficient. The engineers were doing it in a way that really wasn't benefiting the area. They were operating under assumptions that weren't exactly fact. So the dam should probably have never been put into place to begin with, and then this would not have been an issue. However, on the other side, in 1980, 1 year after the dam was built, scientists, a different group of scientists, came out and they found numerous other populations of snail darter. This fish was actually never in any trouble of going from this. So this fish went from being only found in one little stream that would have completely been ruined by this, and then after that, it was found in the other parts of the Tennessee River. It was found in the Chickamauga Creek. It was found in other places. So with the completion of the Tellico Dam, the snail darter was extirpated from the Little Tennessee River. So the dam went up and it went extinct in that area, which they thought they would. However, additional populations of snail darter in 1980 were discovered in South Chickamauga Creek, lower portion of Big Seaweed Creek, the lower Scatchewee River, Little River in Blount County, and the lower portion of the Paint Rock River in Alabama. So this fish was actually around. And the scientists that were arguing, saying that this project needed to be stopped, did not actually go out and do sufficient research to go look for it in other areas. Now, it is still listed as a vulnerable species. It's not found in a lot of areas. They're not big areas. It's just this dam should never have been an issue. So this is a fish that completely changed the laws of the United States of America because people just were incompetent and couldn't do their jobs. But thank you guys so much again. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you again. If I don't, please be safe. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones. Peace. Please like, comment, and subscribe.